Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning into the North Main Minute. I'm Joshua Dobi. A question from a very timely standpoint, which we've been receiving a lot here over the last 3 or 4 days, has to do with issues with regards to our banking system. Now, you probably have seen a number of news reports, especially as of the time that this video is being distributed, about some things that have happened with a couple of our banks around the country, specifically Silicon Valley Bank and a group called Signature Bank, and before that, another group called Silvergate Bank. There are a couple of others that are in the news right now as well, but I want to address these items specifically because, for understandable reasons, we're getting a lot of questions about concern, something that is sometimes called contagion. Without getting too granular with that, the idea is if these ones are bad, is that going to seep over into other banks? And pretty specifically, and for understandable reasons, folks asking, should I be concerned about my deposits or assets inside of my bank? The short answer is no. And the reason for that is not just because we want to have an unnatural amount of confidence in our banking system, but because those specific instances that I mentioned a few seconds ago are dealing with very specific style of banks. You were talking about banks on Silvergate's instance, which were focused on the cryptocurrency community, a very, very volatile kind of entity. With Silicon Valley Bank, we're talking about groups that were focused a lot on startup companies and on private equity firms, so very large amounts of money moving very frequently in and out, and higher risk kinds of entities. It also has to do with the capitalization of those banks, how their capitalization and how their collateral was put together, and that's really the reasons that the FDIC stepped in here several days ago and has now taken over those entities in terms of providing liquidity into the system. I'll echo what the FDIC said as of the time of this recording. Literally all the depositors are going to be made whole. Now, it's going to be a pain. It's going to be messy. There are going to be parts of moving around that are going to be difficult for those depositors to be able to manage, but they have said very explicitly that all the depositors are going to remain whole. So there's going to be a lot of news on this, a lot of noise in the system in terms of understanding what it means for everybody, but please hear this relative to the banking system because we watch this very, very closely every day. Long before things like this happen, we are very, very closely connected to a number of folks who watch this system very intimately and very closely, literally every day that the market is open. So this is something with which we have a high degree of familiarity and comfort, and so we can say, one of the benefits of having done this for multiple decades, that there is no need to be concerned about the system. If that changes, as always, you'll hear from us. If you'd like to reach out to us at North Main Financial Group, perhaps take a look at this. If you have concerns, understandably so, especially as you're watching news programs and seeing headlines and all of those good kinds of things, we'd love to chat with you, northmainfinancial.com.